Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Hello and welcome back to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? Today we're going to do a post-reunion catch-up on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. The reunion, quite frankly, was about Teresa, Louie, Joe, and Melissa. And I've heard other bloggers say they don't even know why they had the other cast sitting on the sofa because some of them rarely said anything. But a lot has been going on this franchise. I know that in the beginning and some weeks ago I had said I'm not watching it. And I was true to that. I did not watch it. I did not watch Teresa's wedding and her big hair.
Yeah, neither did I.
But I did tune in for part of the second and the last episode 3 or part 3 of the reunion because so much had been going on. I couldn't get on YouTube or other threads that I typically read regarding Bravo and not see something about this franchise and the horrible way in which brother and sister and family have been divided. The lies and Bodito, a name that I had never heard before.
Oh, I had heard it before.
I had never heard it before, but I tell you, in the episode or part 3, I think it was said 100 times. You got anything you want to say before we jump in on this after the reunion recap?
So, I agree that a lot of it was consumed with the family dynamics of Teresa, Joe, Melissa, and Louie. But there were some other things that happened that were of consequence. However, most of those things also tied back to one of those central people. So before we get into some of the dynamics of some of the stories like Pizzagate and all that, I just want to do some of those tie-ins. So Danielle learned something pretty interesting.
Yes, she did.
And to me, that says more about Jennifer and Teresa than anything else that she wants to say about Margaret or the other Jennifer than anything, because they hung her out to dry, pretending that this information was a secret.
Right.
That was crazy to me.
Right. They wanted it on film.
But they didn't want to be the ones.
They didn't want to be the ones to deliver the message.
And the crazy thing is, you're being taped. Okay? So it wasn't that they just wanted it on film. They wanted the reaction and the hurt to happen on camera to see how was she going to respond on camera when this rumor comes out. Because we all know it's really a rumor, not true, made up. So what Danielle and how she truly responded, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you saw it, but when she went back, what she said on stage about minimizing it, well, I really don't think it. And then when she can't get to her dressing room good before she's telling her husband what they did. Right. So we know she sees them. Now, whether that's going to show up if they film anymore, we don't know. But I thought that was a little disingenuous for her not to really let them know on camera how she felt about that.
But I think that with her, and just like Jennifer Aiden, and you see this a lot with the franchise, how they want to be a part of the popular girl group, and they see Teresa as that person, the anchor on the show, for lack of a better term, if I get close to her,
Yeah.
if I remain
Yeah.
in her good graces.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is what she felt that she had to do to be on this show.
I agree.
Not dissimilar to Margaret and the trials that she's going through with her ex-girlfriend now, Laura, who wanted to be on the show. And she has been, before I even knew who she really was, I had seen her on YouTube just trashing Margaret and saying all of these things about her and how she's jealous of her, only to come to find out, well, for a lot of these women, creating drama is how they get on the show.
Right.
So it's like, oh, so she wasn't interesting enough for the producers, but she's going to create drama along the sidelines as if this is going to get her on the show.
Right.
So, so that was a little tidbit that I was happy that Margaret did clear that up in the reunion to basically explain what happened with that friendship. And I still don't understand why people have such a problem with Margaret, because the bottom line is to be on this show is to know who the players are.
That's all right.
Margaret is smart. She's going to be this person that knows who she's filming with. And I do believe her when she says sometimes people come to her with information.
Yes, they do.
And I believe the vast majority of the stuff she's finding out is from people that are coming to her and telling her things. That's not Margaret's fault. And just like, if you want to believe that, which I do, Teresa is the same thing about the rumor about her sister-in-law. Somebody told her.
Right.
So if somebody can tell you something and it's okay, why can't Margaret be someone to receive information?
But the thing about Teresa is how she will reframe something in a way that's totally, because she's telling Margaret that she spread the rumor about Jacqueline, and it's like, you brought that up at a birthday party for Jackie's husband,
right?
And it's like her reasoning is, it's crazy. And so, so that I wanted to do the tie-in. So that was one tie-in that goes back to Teresa. The other tie-in was what happened with Frank Jr.'s job.
Yeah.
And it was the thing that I don't think what's her name? Dolores realized is that how adamant you're being about not discussing it is drawing more attention to it than if you had just let them say
what thou dost protest
right.
Too much. Yeah.
Louis gave him a job opportunity with no one else and blah blah. It's like, okay, as we say, Lori, both things can be true. He gave him a job and then he lost that job without even hearing from the person who was the owner of the company.
And
I believe that happened.
Joe Gorga, I have not had an issue with you, and that we have. It's like, honestly.
But I'm like, these open threats.
Right. I'm
like, people.
And they weren't veiled.
No, they were open
and
threats.
That's one thing I will say. I was very disappointed. And I understand that, my understanding is that these reunions have been very heated.
Yes.
And Andy has been speaking about this and how difficult it is refereeing them.
Right.
But to let Louis threaten, the women threaten. Oh, let's play. This type of verbiage.
Yeah.
This man just, each person that's on the opposite side, I feel somebody should have called him out on that.
I know. But it's hard to call them out when they are going to continue to, like when the whole Bodito. I didn't say that I had heard him. I didn't say that. Okay, so they show you in the heat of the moment, but they also show you after the fact saying the exact same thing. You were no longer drinking. It was no longer heated. So what were you doing then? Why say it then if it was not any truth in it? Now, my understanding is Bodito has come out and saying that he doesn't know him, or that it has not, whatever. I think I heard that somewhere. But once again, would it behoove you to say you did? No, it would not. That's not how a private investigator works, to tell on themselves.
Exactly. That is the thing that I think that people have to realize, that when they're saying things, sometimes what you're saying, people can figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, so you said you didn't hire. Hire means, you're paying someone to do something. Then you also say, he's my good friend.
Exactly.
Then you also say, he sent security for us.
Right.
So to me, I can infer that to mean, no, you didn't have to hire him.
Right.
He's your friend. He said, I'll look into this for you.
Exactly. So, and he was making it seem like he was just doing it, and he was just the beneficiary of getting this information, and that he did not. And it's like, come on, he wouldn't be doing it just.
However, it transpired.
I believe
something happened,
and that's what a lot of people on the internet that I did see were saying. They believe John Fuda related to them reaching out to his. And you saw Louis trying to come out, and he was not buying it.
He wasn't going to have it.
He was like, I am not going to. You're not going to just kind of brush over this with me. And I love that.
The same thing with Margaret's son and him phoning this. Like, you can't have phone numbers that are not identified.
Right.
So for him to look at it and, that's my number. All right. That's all we need to know.
Right. So
he would have done better just saying, I lost my phone and somebody else could have made the call.
Right. So this is the sad part to me, is that once again, it seems like Teresa has hitched her wagon to somebody that's not a good person.
Recently I saw something, and by that I mean yesterday, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about the Pizzagate. I wanted to see this pizza oven that she created. Mm-hmm. I saw it, and then I read where she did an interview where she basically said that she just signed the papers that her husband put in front of her. And I just thought,
oh my Lord,
girl,
not again.
Not again.
So whatever happens, happens, and we know, because how long did she stand by Joe Giudice? If her mother had not passed away shortly after her getting out, I don't think she would have divorced him.
No.
I don't think she would have divorced him. And unfortunately, I see similar things happening with, and the girls. They want it to be all forgiven for everybody's relationship with their father. Do you remember your father was not such a nice guy?
And that's the thing, is you have to realize, go back to season 1 and Teresa's spending spree. Mm-hmm. And imagine what was going on in that house in Jersey, mm-hmm. and what those little girls grew up, mm-hmm. what they saw. Mm-hmm. They want their mom to be happy at any cost, just like she wanted to be wealthy and rich, mm-hmm. at any cost. Mm-hmm. They're going to stand behind her no matter what. And the funny thing about it, someone said something that was really key, and it makes me 100% believe that Gia did say that he could do better than his aunt. Mm-hmm. And that is, if Joe was going to say someone said that, he more than likely would have said Teresa or Louis, and not Gia.
Exactly.
Gia said it. Gia said it because she heard her mother say it, and she's just repeating what she has been heard.
And did you hear how Louis tried to rephrase it? Well, you might have said he could do better by something related to the wedding, and it's like, come on, y'all.
She said it.
Come on, y'all. Yeah. And it's like, should I be shocked that Gia is going to lie? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not shocked, because look who your mother is, unfortunately.
Right.
So we know Teresa retells the story in her truth, which is most times a lie. So it's just sad. And moving forward, they've got a problem, the same problem they had after the New York season.
Yeah.
And why they had to do a whole revamp. They would be really really less than smart if they got rid of the Gorgas and went totally Team Teresa. That would not be good. I know I would be done watching, and I don't have a problem being done watching. And I think there are a lot of other people that would feel that way, because the people who would still be there, the loyalty test that you would have to take in order to really have any kind of show, it would be like, no. Because truth be told, Dolores likes Teresa. Long-time friendship. She sees Teresa's flaws. Mm-hmm. Calls some of them out. Lets most of them get a pass. Mm-hmm. If there were no Joe and Melissa, you can't keep giving her a pass, Dolores. Yeah. And Dolores likes Margaret.
Yeah.
I would say she probably has more fun with Margaret than she does with a Teresa. Mm-hmm. And so it would just not be a good idea. What they're going to do, how they're going to make it work. And I think they felt like if they brought in the Fudas and Danielle's family, that, you know, of course they put Jackie as a friend of the show. They got Jen Fessler. So they're like, we got a lot of moving parts here. But you know, the two main parts are the Gorgas and the Giudice. And if you allow one of them to go, that's not going to be good.
And that's why I think the bottom line with the franchise is, just like with the OC, when Vicky had to go, when Nene had to leave Atlanta, when housewives' pants get too big for them, you have to either sit them down and let them know, no, this is not your show, or you can go. Melissa and Joe need to come back.
Just to let Teresa, because Teresa's like, I don't never have this. And Melissa's like, why? Yes. You going somewhere?
Exactly.
As if she's like, it's a done deal that this is going to be my show. And yeah, you do have to. I agree with that. And you know,
honestly, I was thinking about that whole situation this morning, and how not long ago when I used to watch Jersey, I was bored with Melissa, and I felt that it was time for them to go. I felt, you know, nothing's going on with your life. You're boring. I fast forward. But now, just for principle.
Yeah, I agree.
And I will say, that girl earned her paycheck for that reunion.
She earned it for the reunion. But I have to say, we do have to remember that her and Joel did save the franchise. Because if they had not stayed, we would not have lived through the whole transition of what was going on with Teresa.
But you have your tree huggers who don't see that. They feel that when she wasn't on the show, that there was no show. And I'm thinking, wait a minute.
It survived. It survived. Like, it was something for her to come back to. If they had not been there, there would have been nothing to even let it. It could have took a hiatus like Miami.
Right.
And who knows how many years you would have waited for it to come back. So yeah, when they say it kept food on their table, they're
that's
not
what
lying.
They meant.
That's the truth.
But she still stuck back in season 3, when I think Melissa joined.
When they joined, and that they saved the show.
Well, but in her mind,
yeah.
She doesn't see it in that way.
Yeah. And the thing that I hate is that, because I didn't know what was going on with the relationship with Kathy and her family, but literally she made them choose her or Kathy.
Yeah.
And I love the relationship that he had with them. And I'm like, I would hope that there's a way to mend that for them, because he's going to choose his sister over his cousin. But should he have had to choose?
I just feel that whether you want to call it kismet, karma, the law of reciprocity, whatever you want to call it, Teresa has sown a lot of bad seeds. She has pushed people in corners, gave them ultimatums. I feel that this man she has hitched her wagon to is going to be her downfall.
It's another bad seed.
And the bad thing about it is, just like she stuck with her first husband, I don't see her getting out of this. I see her going down with the ship. I see him taking her with him.
And I don't want to have to see her go down, but I think you're right that she just puts blinders on and is full steam ahead for whatever the cost. And so,
and I just want to say, because this is funny, when Joe left and Andy gave both of them the opportunity, he and Teresa, to say something, and he said that all they really wanted was for her to find an average guy, but you found this. So this one vlogger said the bar was really low. They were asking for, you know what, doctor, just average.
Right.
Just average.
Somebody that was going to truly treat her right. And in her mind, and also somebody was saying, like, because he tried to act like he didn't know who she was, or he hadn't watched the show. Of course he did.
And that's what Melissa tried to interject and say about his sister, and how apparently there was this house that he rented on the Jersey Shore, I think, when
where
she
they
was
met.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. But she's not going to give any oxygen to any of that because they're married now.
Yeah.
You know? And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was there a prenup?
No.
Ooh,
and Andy begged her.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. And Margaret said something about there being an investigation. And I have to tell you, if there's not one after that reunion, there's going to be one.
Yeah.
If there wasn't already one, because I think he is playing it. I told you the thing that put red flags up for me was when they were on there and he was talking about what he did, and he was talking about the it was similar, so close to what Jen Shaw, and Andy even mentioned it.
Yes.
I can't remember the verbiage of what he used, but I was like, have you not learned anything?
Yeah.
So, more to come, to be determined, all of those things that will make us kind of still put a big question mark at the end of the Jersey season. What's going to happen next season? Who will return? Put it in the comments. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I don't think there were any winners out of this. Well, I take that back. I'm going to give John Fuda. I'm going to call John Fuda the winner.
Yes.
Because I have to tell you, out of anybody saying anything, I believe John Fuda. I really did. And I loved that he stuck to his convictions of what he knows to be true. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say John Fuda was the winner. And I even give it to Joe that he did not. He stayed pretty calm. Mm-hmm. Joe Gorga stayed pretty calm. And for him, that's a big deal. I can't see a ton of of anything great going on the other side of the couch. I was shocked to learn that Dolores's man was not divorced. I don't love that.
What has that been separated over?
14 years.
Yeah, that's a red
flag.
A red
flag. So, and I want to believe my girl Dolores. And he said Dolores is not in a hurry to get married, but Dolores was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't love that. Now, I have to say the jury is still out on him. So, continue to listen. Put your comments, put the bell on as a reminder for when we have new shows uploading. We try to be pretty consistent and doing something new every week. But with it being summer and holidays, sometimes we may miss, but stay connected. Continue to listen to what we are thinking on the W.A.I.T channel. Thank you, and tune in again.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely ours and should be taken as such. Our thoughts are intended purely for entertainment purposes. Please do not take anything we say as fact or advice. Thank you for listening.